Talks Back from The Skull Talks Back and Other Haunting Tales by Zora Neale Hurston. A long time ago, a man sold himself to the devil. He gave the devil his whole soul and body to do with as the devil pleased. "Devil, you're the high chief," said the man as he walked out into this drift of woods. He lay down flat on his back, in the middle of all these skull heads and bloody bones, thinking about how much he liked the devil. The Lord looked in on him. The man said, "Go away, Lord." "Why?" the Lord asked. "Because," said the man, "I want to do everything in the world that's wrong and never do nothing that's right." "Come here, devil," said the man, "and do with me as you please." And the devil came to him. The devil whispered in his ear and told him lots of wrong things to do, like telling untruths, stealing, and cheating. And just as the man promised, he obeyed the devil. He did everything wrong and nothing right. The man dried up and died away on doing wrong. His meat all left his bones, and the bones got separated. At that time, Highwalker walked upon the man's skull head and kicked the old skull head and kicked it on ahead of him many and many times. He said to the skull head, "Rise up and shake yourself. Highwalker is here." Old Skullhead wouldn't say a mumbling word. Old Skullhead looked back over his shoulder because he heard a noise behind him. It was his bloody bones. Skullhead said, "Bloody bones, don't say nothing yet." Then the skull said to Highwalker, "My mouth brought me here, and if you don't mind, yours will bring you here." Of course, what the Skullhead meant was his telling everything he knew and bragging about him had caused his downfall. But did Highwalker listen? No. Highwalker went on back to his boss and told him, "I saw a dry skullhead talking in the drift today." The boss said, "I don't believe it." "Oh well, if you don't believe it, come go with me and I'll prove it. And if that skullhead won't speak, you can chop my head off right where it's at." So the boss man and Highwalker went back to the drift to find this old dried up skullhead. When Highwalker walked up to the skullhead, he began to kick and kick the old dried head, but it wouldn't say one word. Highwalker's boss thought Highwalker had made the story up, so the boss cut Highwalker's head off. Then the old dry skullhead had said to Highwalker, "See that now? I told you that mouth brought me here, and if you didn't mind, it'd bring you here too." So the bloody bones rose up and shook themselves, and the boss said, "What you mean by this?" He wanted to know what was going on. Old Skullhead said, "We got Highwalker and bloody bones. Now we're all three in the drift together." And that was The Skull Talks